Hello, I'm Trine and this is Hopspots. In this video I'm going to show you how to play our game The Island. The Island is an interactive story for the 4th to 9th graders. With it you can, for instance, do class like social science teaching. So let's start a new game here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's an interactive story in 3 chapters, and these 3 chapters each contain 12 different scenarios and dilemmas that the children have to discuss and solve together. So there are 2 different elements in the game. For instance, one of them is this story, the interactive story, and then there's the physical exercises that children have to go out to Hopspots and do in between. So with this game you can activate a lot of children. If you divide them into groups, you have one, like the biggest group of the children together in one room playing the game on one iPad, and they'll be reading these scenarios and discussing the dilemmas that they have to solve together. And then in between they have to send a group of say 4 to 6 children to these spots where they do different exercises, and I'll show you that later on. So of course, then they'll spread out the spots much further, and they'll probably have Hopspots here standing in a different room, and then they'll be playing these different exercises. So this is the introduction to the first chapter that we have here. Of course, you have to read it and read the rules of the game, and then you start. And the first scenario that you're presented with is that you've just arrived on this island. You're stranded here and you don't know how, and you don't know everyone else you're stranded together with. But of course you have to figure out what you're going to do next. So you read this scenario in the group, and then you continue on to the dilemma that you have to solve together. You read the dilemma, and in this case it's you have to decide whether you want to start collecting food, you want to explore the island, or you want to start getting to know the other people that you're stranded with, because you don't know all of them, as I said earlier. So there's a point system that you have to watch out for. So in the beginning you start out with 50 food points and 50 mood points, and of course you have to make sure that they're not gonna hit 0, because then you'll die. So in the very first scenario here, let's start collecting some food. I think that would be a really good idea. And then you kind of get the result of your choice afterwards. So you here then have to read the result of this choice you just made, and then you can see that you got 10 food points. So now we have 60 food points and 50 mood points, so that's pretty good. But I think then we continue on to a new round, and we of course for every round that passes we lose some points, 7 points both for food and mood. So of course we have to make sure that we get more. So let's go out on an expedition now and get some more mood points. I'll just pick it here on the screen, and now it says send 4 players to Hopspots, and we'll do that. And then this iPad is right now set to be the camp iPad. So it goes on with the next dilemma here. So we'll just enter expedition iPad. Okay, so that's basically because we preferably play this game on 2 or more iPads, because then we have one iPad together with Hopspots where it's the expedition iPad the children go out to in groups, and then we have another iPad in a different room where the rest of the children are reading and discussing these dilemmas. So now we're going to play the hunting game here and try and see if we can collect some mood points. So first of all, we have to start out placing the spots in a circle. I've already done that. And then the task is to catch 3 identical animals, or in this case, 3 identical types of light on the spot. So for instance, stepping on 3 of the green lights in a row in order to catch an animal. And then there's also some sound coming from the speaker. It gives us an image of the sound from the island. And that you have to pay attention to, because sometimes there's this strong wind that blows up, and if you're catching animals while it is on, you'll actually lose your catch and have to start over. So be careful, we'll watch out for that for sure. So let's get started here. And I'll be the one demonstrating now, but obviously you'll see this played by children, 4 to 6 children, and they'll spread the spots much further out, and then they really have to collaborate on catching animals here. Let's get started. Yeah. So I'll go for the yellow light now. I think maybe a different yellow. Yeah, this one.
We must avoid the hyena.
Okay.
We ate everything we've caught.
This, and hopefully a green or a red one, it's much better. There we go. Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
Here comes the strong wind.
Hop.
We must avoid the hyena. Now the wind has gone. Everything we've caught.
Yeah, so if we catch a hyena or we catch animals while the strong wind is blowing, then we'll lose our catch.
You got it.
The red one here. And again.
You got it. We
Go
must
for
avoid the
a
hyena.
yellow
We
one.
ate everything we've caught. You got it.
Go for a green one again. Whoop.
You got it. Avoid the hyena. We ate everything we've caught.
Let's see if we can get a red one here.
You got it.
One more, hopefully.
We must avoid the hyena. We ate everything we've caught. You got it.
Yeah. See if we can catch some more green here.
You got it. Here comes the strong wind. We ate
Okay.
everything we've caught.
Just have to wait. See if I can catch some more here before the game is over.
It's time to examine the catch. That's a big catch. The people in the camp will be thrilled to see it.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good catch here. 24 points for the mood system here. So I'll just press finish, and then we can go back into our game now with the iPad set as camp iPad and collect the points from our expedition here. So now we currently have 67 mood points and 53 food points. So that's pretty good. And then we continue on with the next scenario, and the game goes on in that way. As I said earlier on, there are 3 different chapters, and this was just the beginning of the first of them, just to show you guys how it works. In the second and in the third chapters, there are gonna be more things to watch out for instance, some security in the camp, and maybe you're gonna wanna start building a boat so that you can eventually get off the island. So the game consists of these scenarios that you read and discuss, and then in between you go on expeditions. This was one of the types of expeditions. There are 3, but actually it comes down to 2 different games. So this was one of them where you have to catch light on the Hopspots, and then the other is one where you explore the island, where you listen to some of the sound universe on the island. You, for instance, go to the jungle, and then you have to figure out what you're gonna do next. So you'll hear the speaker reading a part of the story telling you about this jungle, and then you have to step on the different spots to hear different words that are on the spots, and then put together an action that you're gonna do. And if that action is approved, you can move on in the game, and then you have to, I think, put together 4 different actions, and then if you're lucky, your exploration is going to get you food or mood points, or something you can use for the camp. So that's the island. It's a fun and quite challenging game for 4th to 9th graders, and on our website you can also find a game guide that'll take you step by step through how to play the game. So get going, guys.